Welcome to Vibe Coding Foundations 101. In today's video, we're going to be talking about SSR and SPA. If you don't know what those terms means, don't worry about it. I'm going to explain all of it in this video. The goal is to give you a very simplified overview of these topics so that when you're actually vibe coding, you actually can execute properly without having to sort of think about all the details. This video is part of my series for non-technical entrepreneurs and builders who want to learn vibe coding, specifically on Cloudflare, but honestly, it can work for any provider. It's really just foundational knowledge. It's a prerequisite to my course Building on Cloudflare 101. So if you're non-technical and you're just trying to understand just the basic concept, that's what this course is about. If you're a developer, this is not for you by any single means. I couldn't find any single thing sort of online that could take you from zero. I don't know any single thing about coding. I'm interested in vibe coding to a scalable architecture when I was looking for stuff. So I decided to make something that actually gives you sort of that foundational knowledge. Hopefully it helps you in your journey, and I'm hoping that you actually can give me some feedback. And if you do, share it with other people so that at least they can learn how to vibe code as well. And my mission is to help 1 million people vibe code production grade application. So with that, let's jump right into the course. Okay, so a couple terms you're going to keep hearing in the web world a lot just because people want to be fancy. You're going to hear SSR, ISR, this is a new one to me by the way, and SPA. Okay, so what does that mean? This stands for server-side rendering, and this stands for single-page application. Okay, this one here, irrelevant, but we're just keeping it in just so we know that it exists. The two big ones are server-side rendering and client-side rendering. So what are these things? In the olden days, when a server had a web page, it literally was that. It would have a logo, maybe it had some links up at the top, maybe you had a picture, maybe you had some content here, and then maybe you had like a section, whatever, with some text at the bottom. And that entire page would get wrapped up, and whenever the person made a request, enter www.google.com or cloudflare.com or whatever, the entire page would get sent to the user's computer, and it would open up in their browser the exact same thing: logo, links, image, etc., etc. You get the idea. So the olden days, it was just whatever you ask for, that's what you get. However, in the modern world, web pages are not static. They're dynamic, meaning that they have different sets of information that comes from different sort of data sources, etc. So as a result of that, we had to invent new languages in order to deal with this more complexity. An example of a dynamic web application would be Amazon. Every single part of Amazon, when you go to their website, is dynamic. The menu at the top right-hand corner that is connected with the drop-down that has your profile information is dynamic. Your cart is dynamic. The products that you see on the web page is dynamic. It's dynamic based on the fact that every single person that comes to Amazon.com sees personalized products based on their interests or their past purchasing habits. That's what we mean by dynamic. So in the modern world, when you send down a web page, let's put this as a web page and let's pretend that this web page is being shown on the client, you would send down only the parts that are static. So for example, the logo, it doesn't change. So you would send down the logo and maybe, let's say in this particular case, the menu. You wanted to change it depending on the type of user that visits the website. So for example, let's say that one user was into sports, you would see a sports image here. And then let's say another user was into computers, they would see a computer image here. Okay, so that's what we mean by dynamic. So in the modern world, you wouldn't send that part down, okay? You would only send down the static parts of the web page. And what you would do is whenever the web page loads on the computer, you would have some code that's sitting in the web page that would then make a separate request back out to the server to the file location or some sort of something that's going to serve that file up. And it's going to request that file and it's going to send it back, and then it's going to inject it into the page. It's going to inject that image into the page. And when it injects the image into the page, that is dynamic content. Quick interruption. If you're getting value from this video, can you do me a favor and just click on the subscribe button? That would really mean a lot to me. We're a super small channel, trying to grow, trying to get the word out about vibe coding and Cloudflare. So any subscription would really help the channel out. Also, If you're getting value from it, can you do me a favor and just leave a comment on the video, giving me your feedback, whether it's positive or negative. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. Doesn't matter. I appreciate those feedback. I read every single one of them, and it allows me to sort of improve on the channel. And also, if you want more videos like this and you want to join a like-minded set of people that are also building vibe-coded applications, link is in the bio to my school community. It's dwain.me/school, where you could join a group of like-minded people and we could build something together. So if that's something you're interested in, follow the link. You could also book a one-on-one call with me and we could talk about your project and figure out how to get you from vibe code to profit. So with that, have yourself a wonderful day. Continue watching the video. So the first model that I described was SSR, server-side rendering, because every single thing was rendered on the server and sent down to the client. The model that I just described is technically this sort of incremental rendering, but really and truly the original language for it was SPA, single page application. Why? Because what it meant is when you sent down a web page, even though yes, it is incremental, you would be sending down multiple pages at the same time. And so the user can click on one page and navigate to another page without having to go and fetch new information. So in other words, whenever the information comes down to the client, they would see one web page, but really the server actually sent like 4 different pages embedded in that one. So when you click on a link, it instantly goes to the next page right away without having to go back to the server and fetch more information. So in a server-side rendering logic, you would always have to, every time you click on a link, it would go back to the server and fetch information, right? You see a flash. Right, let me see if I could find like a very quick example. So let's say I'm navigating around, what would be a good example of a website that I could go to? CNN.com, sure. So if I went to CNN.com, they would have mostly like this. So for example, if I click on entertainment, okay, see how it flashes? No, it's not 100% flashing because they're doing some fancy stuff on their website. But my point is, if I click from one to the next, see it flashes, right? Click from now to the next, it just flashes. So that's the server sending down the entire web page to the browser. Now, I'm simplifying this. I know CNN is doing a lot more complicated thing, but I'm just oversimplifying for this conversation. Okay, so that's the difference, server side versus SPA. Generally speaking, if you're building a SaaS application, you're going to be building SPA application. Okay, SaaS, server, software as a service. Okay, you're gonna be building a SPA, in other words, an app. Okay, and if you're building like a website for like a blog or content or whatever, you'll be building sort of a server-side rendering application. Okay, so it's very important to know the difference between these two concepts, because later on we're going to add the concept of server-side processing versus client-side processing, and the same concept will apply. We'll talk about that in another video.